morning, Sam. It is Thursday, December 9th, 2021. So if you don't know, if you donated more than $50 to the charity drive, send us the receipt and you can redeem your punishment on Sam and Meshach. Just email samandmeshach@gmail.com to let us know. So we were sifting through a number of different ideas about punishments that I should have. And you suggested that I tell a story which I have not told on this channel. A story which is kind of embarrassing. A story of when I was given kissing lessons. So let's backtrack a little bit. When I was a freshman in college, I was fresh out of having been homeschooled for the last 4 years. Dating while you're homeschooled is just a little tricky. You don't see people every day. Most of the people that you know are like people you've known forever. But there definitely were opportunities to date. But by the time I got to college, I definitely didn't have as much dating experience as some of my peers. However, once I got here, surrounded by lots of different people, the opportunities for dating simply became much easier. So for the first few months, I would just go on dates with a number of different girls. So I was at a party one night and I was hanging out and I was bopping and I started kind of chatting to this girl. If you've been to a college party, or even if you haven't, I'm sure that you know it is loud. It is so loud. It is so loud that you can barely hear anything in the room. Having a conversation is damn near impossible. It's terrible. And so I'm trying to chat with this girl, and it's clear that we're both relatively intoxicated, and it's late at night. And so I say, hey, do you want to go out sometime? She goes, absolutely, that sounds great. Gives me her number, and I put it in my phone. And I texted her, and she said, yes, I'd love to go out. And so we met up that night, and we were just on campus. I think we went to like the student union and made some root beer float. And eventually we find our way into the library, because where else are you gonna go as a freshman? And we're in the library, and we're kind of sneaking around. It's probably about midnight, and I think that's when the library closed on the weekend. And so we were sort of sneaking around, trying to make sure we didn't get caught by the librarians as they were shutting down the library. And we found a study room in a corner just to chat. And I lean over and I kiss her. And then she kisses me back. And up to this point, every kiss that I'd had simply just been on the lips. And this kiss was suddenly a little bit more than that. And I became quite flustered. And I didn't know what to do. And I remember just the awkwardness of my mouth didn't know the right movements to make at that moment. There was a clink of our teeth hitting each other, which I've subsequently learned is not supposed to happen. And she pulls back and she goes, whoa, 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 what's happening? She sort of realizes quite quickly that I don't know what I'm doing. And thank God, she didn't leave. She didn't storm out. She wasn't upset. She realized that I was simply very inexperienced. And there was a whiteboard in the room. And so she walks over to the whiteboard. She writes like a pros and cons list like this. Oh, you can't even see that. She writes like a pros and cons list like this. And she was like, can I teach you how to do this? And I was like, yes, absolutely, please teach me. And it was things like this, where the pros were tongue and the cons were too much tongue. And so we practiced, and she was so sweet. And by the end of the night, I was better. I wasn't great, but I was better. It was one of the kindest and nicest things that anyone's done. To not ridicule me for not having kissed anyone. She didn't chastise me. She didn't say anything mean. Just kindly explained to me on sort of a mechanical level what was going on, and was very happy to practice. And after that, it's all been groovy. There's been no problem. I frequently think back to that night and the kindness of that girl to teach me how to kiss. That's my embarrassing story, which I don't think is that embarrassing. Schmackers, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Sam, I'll see you tomorrow.